There are over 1,000 Pokémon in existence today, but imagine if one of the most famous Pokémon never existed at all. No games, no anime appearances, no merchandise, no legendary moments, just nothing. And surprisingly, there is a Pokémon whose creation almost never happened: Pikachu. Today, Pikachu is the face of Pokémon. You can show his silhouette to almost anyone in the world and they'll recognize him. But Pikachu wasn't originally designed to become the global icon we know today. In fact, his creator, Atsuko Nishida, designed Pikachu during the development of the original Pokémon games with a much simpler idea in mind. She wanted to create an electric-type Pokémon that was cute but still capable of fighting. And that's where the familiar yellow mouse began. But Pikachu wasn't always the Pikachu we know. His original concept was different. Nishida's early design work led to a small creature with a simpler appearance. The final design was then refined into the Pikachu we recognize today. And one detail made an enormous difference: his cheeks. Those red cheeks helped communicate his electric typing while making his face incredibly memorable. But here's the surprising part: Pikachu wasn't originally intended to be the star of Pokémon. The games had dozens of Pokémon. The original starters were arguably much more important to the game's structure: Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, and of course the legendary Pokémon. Pikachu was simply one of many. There was no guarantee that this tiny yellow Pokémon would become famous. Then the anime changed everything. The creators needed a Pokémon to accompany Ash Ketchum, and instead of giving him one of the traditional starters, they gave him Pikachu. That decision completely changed Pikachu's future, because now millions of viewers weren't just seeing Pikachu in a game, they were seeing him every week. They watched him fight. They watched him argue with Ash. They watched him cry. They watched him protect his friends. And most importantly, they watched him become a character. Pikachu's biggest advantage wasn't his power, it was his personality. He wasn't simply cute, he was stubborn, independent, sometimes mischievous, sometimes emotional, and incredibly loyal. That made viewers care about him. Pikachu wasn't just a Pokémon Ash owned, he became Ash's best friend. And that's when something unexpected happened. Pikachu became the Pokémon everyone recognized. Even people who had never played a Pokémon game knew who Pikachu was. He became the symbol of the franchise. His face appeared on toys, cards, clothing, games, movies, and eventually all over the world. But here's the crazy part: if Pikachu had never been created, another Pokémon could have taken his place. Imagine a Pokémon world where Ash traveled with Squirtle, or Bulbasaur, or another creature entirely. The entire identity of the anime could have been different. The Pokémon franchise might still have become successful, but would it have become the same cultural phenomenon? We'll never know. And that's what makes Pikachu's story so interesting. He wasn't created to become the face of Pokémon. He wasn't the strongest. He wasn't a legendary Pokémon. He wasn't even the most complicated design. He was simply the right Pokémon at the right time. But perhaps that's what makes his success even more impressive. Pikachu didn't become famous because he was destined to. He became famous because the games, the anime, and the audience all connected with him. A simple yellow electric mouse became one of the most recognizable fictional characters on Earth. And maybe that's the real lesson behind Pikachu's creation. Sometimes the character that changes everything isn't the one you expect. Pikachu started as just another Pokémon, but today, remove Pikachu from Pokémon history and the franchise would be almost impossible to imagine. He wasn't supposed to become the face of Pokémon, he simply became impossible to replace.